What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day. How we doing? Well, this weather is spectacular. I could not be more grateful for this extended Indian summer here in September. August got a little weird for us. We had some colder weather. We had a bunch of rain. But we made it out of it. I can't get the sun right, guys, just so you know. It's giving me a shadow. But anyway, I came back up to Lake Ontario for the third day in a row. I have launched out of Mexico Point all 3 days, and I have been bass fishing. Now, I'm going to tell you that I have poked around a little tiny bit looking for trout and salmon. I did sneak out to 110 feet this morning just to see if I saw anything good, if maybe now that this wind has stopped blowing for a week that maybe things would stratify again. I did see a few fish in like 105 right pegged to the bottom. I assumed they were lake trout, but they could have been browns, they could have been kings, they really could have been anything. Just with the way the temperature and the thermocline is out here right now. But I went to a different spot today. I went west from Mexico Point. I fished out over by the High Rocks all morning. I only caught one little skipper over there this morning, and I thought for sure I was going to get him. Not a soul around. That is what the one thing I can't stress enough. If you say to yourself, I don't really like to go to some of these other lakes, Oneida or the Finger Lakes. I mean, they're big, but they're not big, and it seems like every spot I want to, I'm not saying for me, but I hear a lot of people say, it seems like every spot I want to go, there's already 3 people there, or there's been 5 people there already. There are other boats in the shallows fishing for bass, I'm assuming is what they're doing, like me. But I don't see... There's one bass boat way back behind me right there that I passed this morning. He's been in the same area. Now, I came back and I found this big flat. So this will be interesting. So I found this big flat, and I'm in anywhere from 9 to about 15 foot of water. It's glass calm, as you can see. The water is extremely clear. I'm going to hold my phone. I don't know if, let's see, I don't know if you can see the bottom. Probably not. Man, you can't. It's really pretty amazing. So I came back on this flat, and I'm looking around, and it's got good rock. The sand transitions out deeper in about 35 foot, and I was going to go look at that too, where the rock ends and the sand meets. That's what the experts say, that's a highway for these smallmouth. Now, I started drifting in here. I caught my first fish this morning, that skipper over by the High Rocks with a jerkbait. I had all my success yesterday on a jerkbait. So that's predominantly what I've thrown all day today. I have mixed a couple other things in. But I haven't caught anything on anything else in 3 days. I've caught all my fish on a jerkbait. Today was no different. I had 10 fish on. I had 3 jump me off on the jerkbait, so I landed 7. My 5 fish limit would have been small. I didn't have any big ones today. They were all in the 1 to 2 pound range. I mean, I'll bet you I'd have been lucky to have. I had one that was over 2. He was 2 and change, but I probably had like 12 pounds for a 5-fish limit. So nothing crazy, but man, they bite, and that jerk bait, they just try to rip that rod right out of your hand. But I'm going to also, as I'm drifting, I can see them directly under the boat, sitting there over the top of the rocks, over the top of the sand. If I saw them right there, not that I really, a couple times I'm looking right at them, I dropped the drop shot down to them, and they zipped right over to it and looked at it like this. And then he'd kind of mill away. So I didn't really mess with that too terribly long. I've been catching fish on the jerkbait. Everything today. Yesterday I had 2 that produced. I had 2 that produced today. Today they were both mega bass. One was the 110 plus 1, and one was the 110 plus 1 junior. So it worked, and it was fun, and I enjoyed myself. And this has been a great 3 days to, have the water all to yourself, kind of, give myself some different water to look at. I'm not going to say that I'll only be back on a night of this fall, but, I'll put my boat back in. I don't know about this week, maybe next week. I'm not in a huge rush. I know the fishing's good on a night right now. I still wait till I start seeing that water cool off before I get super excited about a night in the fall, and then I'll fish it all the way to ice up. And during that time, it's a swim bait party for me. I love, if you followed me for any time, this is my 5th year doing the channel. This is my 5th fall into winter. And it's my 5th, let's call it, swim bait season. And I'm excited already because there's nothing in my mind better than that big mush swim bait bite that all of a sudden you're reeling and that rod just goes, whoa, it loads like this, and then you come back and get them. But everything's fun right now. And we've got this beautiful weather, so I'm going to enjoy it. And I have thoroughly enjoyed the last 3 days on Lake Ontario. I can tell you that much. No questions asked. Still 70 degrees on the surface out here. So it's beautiful. Still summertime. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I will be out tomorrow morning somewhere doing something. And no, I guess there is no and. Have a great day. Keep your tip up.